3, 2, 1, action. Three,
Yeah.
you point. Yeah. Okay, I'll go. You ready? Let me just, I had a tear because I was laughing. What's going on? It's Celine here, and joining me is Tim Hicks. Tim, how you doing today?
Woo, doing good. Yeah, fantastic. It's warm here today in Southern Ontario and getting all my Christmas shopping done.
I was just gonna ask you, do you shop early or are you a late shopper? I'm assuming a late shopper now.
Well, typically I would be on it, but I was just on tour over in Germany for 2 weeks.
Fair.
Yeah, so I had kind of my hands full, and we had a busy summer too. So it was like one thing into another. And I didn't have a whole lot of room in my suitcase to bring a lot back with me, although I did bring a few trinkets.
It's always fun to bring like little trinkets back from like wherever you go and visit, right? I always bring back magnets all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, our thing is shot glasses.
Nice. Can't go wrong with shot glass.
Yeah, yeah. So everywhere I go, I get myself us in the house, Amanda and I, a shot glass, and my father-in-law a shot glass.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like nobody's asked you this, or maybe they definitely have, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. What do you want for Christmas, Tim?
I'm a hard guy to buy for. I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I need or want something, I just kind of go out and get it. But my wife is amazing at coming up with gift ideas that continually shock and surprise me every year. So, I mean, I don't even know. I had a hard time. They asked me, my in-laws were asking my wife, like, what should we get Tim? And I love tequila, so any kind of high-end tequila is good by me. But I said, well, tell them. Okay, this is gonna be funny. So I built a box in my backyard to house firewood in,
Okay.
and I didn't get a chance to fill it before I left for the road for Europe. And then the snow came. So I asked my wife to tell them to fill my firewood box with firewood. So it's like super boring stuff. You know what I mean?
That's just an old. I'm not saying you're old, not calling you old, but I'm just saying that's
I'm
what
old.
like an older person
I know.
would do. That's
Well,
funny.
it's like how many pairs of jeans? I have stacks of jeans. I'm a country singer, I stacks of jeans. And I just bought a new guitar for myself because I fell in love with it, and it was so funny. Like there was a guitar hanging in the local shop here in St. Catharines, and I went three separate occasions to play it,
Oh
and
my
on the fourth time it was still there, and I was like, "What am I doing? Like I'm just gonna buy this guitar."
It was a sign. You
So.
had to buy it.
Yeah, and I mean, I love like we have kids. We have two kids, pretty much teenagers now. My son's 14, my daughter's 12. So that's kind of the fun for us on Christmas is like, getting them the fun stuff.
Do your kids play instruments or do they sing? Or
Yeah.
yeah?
They're very musical. Yeah, yeah. So I've tried to discourage that over the years, but somehow it's just in them. Yeah. So my son's taken up bass guitar,
Okay,
and he's
cool.
left-handed. Yeah. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
Paul McCartney.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he started at high school this year in the concert band playing bass,
Nice.
and he's really jumped on board with it. So we're excited about that. He also plays piano. My daughter's a wicked piano player and also plays violin.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So talent clearly runs
Yeah.
in that family.
Yeah, yeah,
Are we gonna
yeah.
get maybe like eventually a song with them on it then? I feel like that should be in the works.
Actually, want to know what's funny? We did that. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a song out there called See You Soon that I cut in my studio. This studio that I'm in right now wasn't built yet. We did this reno over COVID. But during COVID, I had a basement studio here in the house, and I dragged everyone downstairs, and we all played and sang on this tune called See You Soon, which you can stream right now on all the streaming
I love
platforms.
it.
So, and there's a video, my kids are in it, and
That is so
um, you
cute.
know, yeah. So, but we're just starting to be like, they're just to the point now musically where I can just yell out chord changes in the room and we can jam. And so we've been doing a lot of that lately.
Okay, well, I want to come to the Christmas party because I feel like that's just going to be a jam session.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I grew up around that kind of thing. So my stepfather plays drums, and his whole family is musical, and it was a family band essentially. Like at every Christmas, Thanksgiving get together, the guitars were out, the drums were out. The one, my cousin plays bass. Like we had a full on band. So that's kind of how I grew up. So we're hoping that we can continue that tradition.
You have to continue that tradition because I feel like not a lot of people grew up with that. Like I definitely didn't grow up with that. I
Yeah,
wish. Maybe if I
yeah.
was around your family, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's fun now that the kids are into it because, honestly, when music is your living, and this isn't true for everybody, because there's guys in my band even that, play more than I play. They play in 100 bands, and they never put their guitars down. They're always playing them always. But for me, because I'm like the guy on the road and doing the interviews and doing the media and fronting the show. When I come home, I put my guitar
Away.
away
Fair enough.
and I'm just like dad and husband. But now that the kids are a little older, and they can be involved, we're a lot more musical around here for sure.
I love it. Well, it is nice to just kind of put everything away and just be a human and not be
Yeah.
like working all the time 24/7 because then
Yeah.
it's a lot. Like it really is a lot. So it's nice to wind down.
It's yeah, it can be. That's for sure.
But I love how your kids are musically inclined like you. So that's going to be super exciting. But since you were saying you're the guy with the guitar, you're busy on the road, how was it overseas in Europe? How was that?
Every time I get to go to a place like that with a guitar on my back, it astounds me. I never thought I'd be doing 2 nights in Munich and selling them out. Like it's just unbelievable to be in a place like Leipzig. I never thought I'd ever be there. And I've been so fortunate to be able to play some places like Australia and Latvia and Germany and France and the UK, and these are places that are the kind of country music that I play, sort of the rock oriented stuff, is just in its infancy. So we're playing smaller rooms, like, it's like to
Yeah.
300 people or 400 people. But they know all the songs, they know the words, they're excited to meet you after the show. And, I just loved it. It was a really great vibe. Christmas markets were in full swing in Germany when we were just there. And so, like, fully took those in, like Glühwein and lots of schnitzel and sausage and Franks and all kinds of stuff going on. Between that and getting to take the train around to see things, it was really cool.
And then the Christmas markets in Germany. If people haven't
Yeah,
seen that, go look it up right now because it literally looks like the
incredible.
North Pole. It is stunning. And the fact that you got to experience that, that's like cross off the bucket list.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I thought it would be something different than it was. So I had it in my mind that it would be more like a market, with like handmade trinkets and
Yeah.
jewelry. And there was a little bit of that, but it was mostly about the social hang. Almost like I described it to my wife and kids like the Lions Carnival, but with a German Christmas twist. Like there's rides for the kids and there's lots of different food to eat and tons of drinks everywhere and that kind of thing, and a little bit less of like Dorothy's handmade tea cozies. But there was a little bit of that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like Oktoberfest then, because I think Oktoberfest is more about like the social hang, because obviously that's like really big in Germany too.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yes.
hanging out, vibing, just chatting with people and stuff, rather than like going around to like the booths and like checking out all
Yeah.
like the little trinkets and stuff. But that's cool to like
Yeah.
know that it's not all like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I thought, like I said, I thought it was one thing, and it really became another, which was just as interesting, really.
But one more thing to go off of that before we spring forward. Playing in front of like 300 people or like 400 or 100 even or 50 people in Europe where like
Yeah.
to think, wow, my music is getting streamed across the globe. How does that make you feel as an artist? And they're singing word for word, like they know the stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's the dream. You that's what you dream of when, or at least that's what I dreamed of when I was an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, in Mrs. Morgan's class, saying that I wanted to be a professional musician when I grew up. And like that's what you think about. And there was a defining moment for me, not this past fall, but the fall before, which it was a tough time for us, which we don't need to get into. But we were in Australia on tour and we were playing this festival, and there was like 5,000 people at this festival. It was in a big tent, and midway through the performance, I was just like kind of on autopilot because you're jet lagged and you're just in your thing. And my guitar player, Andrew McTaggart, who's been with me since the beginning, like since before I had a record deal, we used to play Legions together. He elbows me this side. There you go. He elbows me. Well, I'm singing, and I'm like, what? And he goes, "Hey, look, they're singing the songs." I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "No, they're singing the songs. We're in Australia. How far from home are we? Like we're playing, having this
Yeah,
conversation."
that's
And it
crazy.
really hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my God, we are standing in like on the Gold Coast in Australia right now, playing in front of 5,000 strangers, and they're singing words to songs that weren't even singles.
That's
So
crazy.
to me, it was like it was emotional in that moment. Like, wow, this is really cool. Like, the Canadian country thing, we're so lucky that we have a scene here, but it is kind of self-contained into like in and of itself. So when you kind of get outside of that and have a moment like that, it was really special. And the same thing happening in Germany. You're meeting people and they're saying, I really love No Truck Song, you know?
I love
And to
it.
me, it's like I never thought, like when I was writing that, we're looking to get a laugh out of people, but I certainly wasn't looking to get a laugh out of a person in, Stuttgart.
So
It's
fair.
just so strange and awesome to
Yeah.
me that that could be the case. But I will say this, it was really interesting because we knew which cities spoke more English than others based on how many people laughed at the jokes
It's
in
valid.
between songs. So it's like so I like,
Oh no.
ramp something up, and like deliver the punchline and like and then nobody would laugh. Yeah, there's nothing. And my guitar player's like he's like, "Yeah, I don't think they speak much English here." I'm like, I don't think so. Moving on, moving
Oh,
on.
but
You, you know,
it's funny how they don't really speak English, but they still know the lyrics to all of your songs, and it's in English. Like it's
yeah.
wild how it can do
Well,
that.
it's just they just memorize the sounds,
Yeah.
or it feels good in that. But in like, humor has a certain cadence to it that is
Yeah.
likely like difficult for someone whose language isn't English first
Mhm.
to catch on to right away. You know what I mean? So those once I figured that out, I would just add more songs to the set and talk less. But
So valid.
there were audiences like Berlin and Munich, and most of them spoke perfect English. Like you'd never even know you were outside of Canada, other than you could go and have schnitzel after the show, and it was amazing.
That's cool. You're clearly living the dream. Like that is awesome, and it must be
Yeah,
such a surreal feeling to go and witness this. But speaking of the dream, you have a song that you released called "Going Somewhere," and that song
yeah.
pretty much sums up chasing a dream,
Huh.
chasing a passion, a goal. And you're going on tour now. So you're starting off in BC, and then you're going all the way
Mm,
across Canada. That's exciting.
mm.
Are you ready for this?
So excited. Oh my God, I'm so ready for it. We've been talking about doing this tour for years at this at this point, like, and I just kept asking, like, when are we going? Like, because we play lots across Canada. We were in BC this summer, and we were
Yep.
in Alberta where we do all the things, but you're in festivals and you're doing that kind of routine.
Hmm.
Flying in the day before, you play the next day, you fly out the next day. It's
Yep.
it's you get in a rhythm of it. But when you're on an organized, properly branded, routed tour, it's a different vibe. And mostly because we're masters of our own domain. So what I mean by that is like when you play, the PNE and you're on a bill with two other acts,
Hmm.
your contract says 60 minutes and you don't dare play 62
No.
because the schedule of the show depends on it,
Hmm.
and we get really excited because like if we stick the landing, like we're like
So fair.
59:47, yeah,
Yeah.
like, we get really excited about that,
Yeah.
because that's like one challenge. But when you're on your own tour and it's your tour, if I decide I want to play two extra songs or do an extra encore or throw an extra couple of guitar solos in these songs, I don't really have to worry. And
Hmm.
that freedom as an artist, and so we're super excited to get out and do that, do like a proper tour, where it's our show and we can sort of tailor the set to where we
Yeah.
are that night. And that to me is really exciting.
What can people expect when they come out to see these shows? We got any special guests that are going to be making an appearance? Acoustic sets in the middle, a full, like what can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, all that is up for grabs right now. So
Okay.
I have ideas on how that's all going to play out. And likely, yeah, I mean, you're going to hear. I'm the kind of guy that like I like to stick to hits. I like people walking away going, "He played my song," like
Yeah.
whatever that is. But I also like to balance that out with a little bit of music for like the deep cut fans. Or usually there's one song or two songs, if we're being particularly greedy, that's just for me and the band. Like songs that we really love to
Yeah,
play
of
that
course.
weren't necessarily like well known or well received or anything like that. But in terms, yeah, I mean, I did the Campfire Troubadour thing, it would make sense totally to do a couple of songs acoustic in the middle. And, it remains to be seen who's going to come out with us. That's highly top secret information. I don't know why we do it that way, but that's what we do.
We can't pry it out of you right now. Come on, Tim,
Yeah,
just tell us,
yeah.
tell us. Go, go, go.
I wish I could. I'd have Ron Kitchener calling me in a minute. But for sure, whoever's going to be out with us, like we're going to make it. We'll make that a moment. That we can share the stage and do something together. So I would always look forward to those moments because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really just it's going to be a good time. It's always high energy. I don't know how to do it any other way.
It's you.
It's always been about the party. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and I think that comes from playing in bars so long
Yeah.
where that was our job was to rile the crowd up. And
Hmm.
so I'm real comfortable in those situations and like, sometimes to my detriment because then, like a brawl breaks out or something. But, I know how to handle those situations too. So, I always tell people bring a helmet. You never know how rowdy it's going to get.
You never know how rowdy it could be like a hockey game. You never know what's going to happen on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to ask you just another question here too, because of
Sure.
your song "Going Somewhere." I love the meaning behind it, and like I love how the tour is named "Going Somewhere." But what would you say is the best advice that you've ever received to like keep following your dream, your passion? And what advice would you give to somebody who
Yeah.
wants to follow suit?
Yeah, both of them are intertwined. So the best advice I got was to play as much as I could, and so I started off playing open mic nights. I was like 15 years old. We'd play at open mic nights, and even if I grew a goatee so that I could look older and they didn't card me. And then I started gigging right when I was 15. So that always stuck with me rather, like, play as much as you can, get out in front of people. This was pre-social media and all
Hmm.
that stuff. That said, I still believe that. And I get asked that question a lot. I'll meet somebody at the grocery store and they're like, "My son's 10. He really wants to be a singer. What would you tell him?" And I say the same thing. Get out and play. Play as much as you can. Play at your grandmother's barbecue. Play at an open mic night. Play in front of your class. Get up in front of your school. Hone those skills
Yeah.
as a performer because posting stuff to social media in your bedroom is just as valuable for different reasons, but it will not train you to know what to do when a brawl breaks out at the
Yeah, it's
show.
so
You know
valid.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You have to have tools in your toolbox to build a house.
Hmm.
And the only way that you get those tools is to go out and do it. So as much as experience as you can get, I recommend people get like just because I think it's a lost thing. There's a generation of artists that are coming up like, well, I'll just post on TikTok and become famous, and then all my problems are over. Until someone hands you a set of in-ear monitors and says, "You're a star now, Jimmy. Go out and do it."
That's so
You
fair.
know,
Yeah.
that's so, and we're literally watching that happen in real time. And I think that country fans especially can tell the difference of somebody that has cut their teeth and is seasoned versus someone that was just given an opportunity because they had a moment on the internet or they're super pretty or
Hmm.
attractive.
Hmm.
So, and like I said,
Oh,
all the like everybody's if my wife was next to me, she'd say, "Not everybody's path is yours." And that's valuable too. Everybody
yeah.
has their own path, and everybody's path is valid and different. But my advice to people is get out and play and hone those skills and put those tools in your toolbox.
It's like
I'm very
university.
passionate about it.
I
I'm
know,
very
I can
passionate about
see that.
the
I can
question.
no, but we
I'm
love
like,
it. We love it. We need that, Tim. It's like
yeah,
university and college, right? University is very textbook, like you're in class, you're learning.
yeah,
College is practical. You're out in the
yeah,
field and you're getting your hands dirty, and that's how you learn. A lot of people nowadays too, when you go out and get a job, it's not just like the knowledge that like, oh, I went to school for this, I have this diploma. No, do you actually have the
mhm,
experience? Are you good at what you
totally.
do? Like, and that's so much more valuable to companies and any industry that you work in. Exactly, like music too.
Yeah,
Like there's so many people online that are posting stuff all the time. But then if you, like you said, give them a pair of in-ears or give them something and they have to go out and play, it's like,
yeah.
I've been performing to my phone the entire time. This is different.
Yeah, and what happens when you break your string? We
Yeah,
had
what do we
something
do?
stuff like this happens to us all the time, and I'll never forget it. We were playing at the Saddle Dome in Calgary with opening for Luke Bryan, and there was like it was sold out. So as many people as the Saddle Dome holds were there that night, and the first song was "Get By," and comes out like
Yeah.
to drink, she likes to smoke. And I kicked into the verse, and my microphone stopped working. And
Yeah, it
I didn't even
happens.
think I didn't think about it. I just immediately walked over to my guitar player's microphone and finished the song. And roadies are diving and people are running around. It was like crazy. And one of the radio people that night asked me, like, "Wow, geez, you handled that so well. What did you?" And it was like I didn't even think about it because we had been there so many times that it wasn't a showstopper. But
Yeah.
I think about, a young artist, and if that had been their first gig and that happened,
Yeah.
I mean, I might, if that happened to me, it was my first gig, I probably would have cried.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I
The
mean? So,
panic would set in.
yeah, once again, it's like just get out and do it so that there isn't anything that can happen on that stage that you can't handle, you know?
Yep, that's very valuable advice. And a lot of people that want to get into singing and performing, they should take that and run with it because it's true.
Yeah, just send it to me. I'm going to write a book on it one day.
Just send them to Tim. Tim Hicks. Go to Tim Hicks.
Totally.
Actually, well, since like all your songs are like rowdy and this and that, we all know what you bring to. Do you hear that going on right now?
No, can't hear it. No.
There is like sirens, like someone's getting chased down. I'm like, well, they know
Wicked.
they're like going for something. Dang, I'm like, oh, I definitely, you can probably hear. Hey, they're coming for you. They're coming for you, Tim. They know you're too
They're
rowdy on
going-
stage.
They're going somewhere. They're going somewhere.
They're going somewhere. That was perfect. Okay. That was funny. That was funny. Are we going to have stronger beer at your show?
Oh God, I will never be that guy that doesn't play the song, you know?
No, I meant like, are we
I-
actually going to have stronger beer at your show?
Oh, well, yeah. Oh my God. Tim Hicks show. We've done the odd show where it's been dry and it just doesn't work. You know,
No.
like you play a nice theater and they're like, you must have your drinks in the lobby. You know, I just like immediately call my manager, like, don't ever book me there again. This is, they were just too polite. But yeah, for sure. Like that's absolutely got to have some stronger beer at the show.
I love it. I love it so much. Well, thanks, Tim, for chatting with us today. It was so great to chat with you about
pleasure.
like the song, the tour, Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you.
My pleasure. We covered a lot of ground there, so good luck in the editing phase.